Virgo, this week is tricky because we're being asked the hard questions, but we're being asked the hard questions behind the hard questions. Like when I say, what do you want? What is it that you really want, Virgo? The question behind that is, what have you been lying about and telling people that doesn't matter to you? What have, for maybe even 10 years, maybe even more for some of you, you've been trying to reconcile with? What is it that you really want? This is the time where that comes out. I'm not saying that it wins, but what I'm saying is it really comes out. Say you've been married for 30 years. You're not in love with your husband anymore. What you really want is to go fuck somebody else. What you really want is the man you thought you'd married instead of the one you ended up with. That's what you really want. And that's why I'm asking, what do you really want? Because you need to be brave enough right now to confront it, because that truth is going to be smack in your face. Right? What the real truth is going to be smack in your face. Does it mean that it's owning you? No. Does it mean you're dumping your husband tomorrow? No. What it means is you're being honest with yourself, and in being honest with yourself, you're taking real control. Instead of micromanaging everybody in your space and nitpicking every single second, and it's probably been growing increasingly worse over the last couple of weeks since Venus entered, not like last couple of weeks, the last couple of days since Venus entered Virgo. It's probably been getting worse. Nitpicky, nitpicky, nitpicky. Needing every little bit of details met. Why? Because you need constant attention now. Because you're not being real with what your real discontentment is. And your real discontentment is something that you have got to confront. You've got to be honest with yourself about it. I don't care if you have a conversation with your partner or with whoever it's concerning. Maybe this isn't a romance thing for you. Maybe it's a boss. But you have to be real. What is it that I actually want? What do I really want? It's hard. It's scary. But it is the first step to reclaiming, real control. Taking real control. Because right now you have fake control. You have control outwardly. Maybe you bitched, maybe you nagged. You don't have real control. Because real control is what? One place, right there. There's 1,000 different ways and 1,000 different projects you've taken control of to convince yourself that everything is okay, when the truth is, it's not okay. And until you admit that to yourself, you don't have real control, because you don't have control over yourself. And you're going to self-sabotage. By wreaking havoc and letting things slip out, by making things miserable, making people miserable, by letting them slip out instead of owning it. So maybe it doesn't slip out. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, I know you want to stay in this relationship. I'm saying, I know you want to stay in this job. But I also know that you don't want to stay in this relationship, and you don't want to stay in this job. And the only way that you're going to be able to stay in this relationship or stay in this job is by admitting you're done with them both. But what's more important to you, Virgo, is keeping your sense of stability, of keeping your life status quo, of making a responsible decision that works out. That, as boring as it sounds to everybody else, for you is of the utmost importance. You need that regularity. So you do you and give yourself what you need. But there's no way you can do that if you don't admit those underlying feelings. Don't let your past hold you back from a good relationship right in front of you. Maybe it's not as exciting. Maybe it's not as dramatic. Maybe it's not as fulfilling sexually. Whatever it is, there's a sense of you're falling back on an old idea of a relationship. But what you don't realize is the only reason why it's perfect is because it doesn't exist. Everything in your imagination is perfect because you control every aspect of it. But when you don't control every aspect of something, now you feel like it's not perfect. Get out of that. Because honestly, it's almost like you're falling back on this past relationship for one reason. Because you control every aspect of it. Because it's in the past and it doesn't really exist anymore. And maybe that's where you've been escaping to. And making yourself happy. You know, losing yourself in that I like perfect relationship. All I'm asking is that you be honest with yourself. And understand that the only reason why the relationship is perfect is because it's make-believe. Maybe at once upon a time you really dated this person, but it doesn't matter because that's not what's going on now. You don't date them anymore. You date somebody else now, or you're with somebody else now, or you're at another job now. And the only reason why the past job looks so good is because it's make-believe, it's pretend now. It wasn't actually that good. It's this that you're coming to a realization. That's how you're balancing out. You're realizing, why am I remembering everything like it was so amazing? It wasn't that amazing. It's just my fallback zone. Hold on. You chose a direction, stick with it. I know it's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of challenges coming up, smacking you in the face constantly, challenging you. Why did you make this decision? Why did you make this decision? Look how happy you could have been. Look how happy you could have been. You know it's not right. You know it's not perfect. You know it's not right. You know it's not perfect. But guess what? It kind of is. It's kind of your safety zone. And a safety zone is exactly where you want to be. I know you have an adventurous side to you. I know that. The thing is, lots of times you don't admit to it. You stifle it too much. I'm telling you, unstifle it. Unstifle it so that you can actually appreciate and enjoy what you have. Because right now it's building up inside of you and starting to take control of you. What you want deep down inside, you know is not good for you. But it's ask yourself the question, what is it that I really want? Why do I really want what I want? And you're not asking yourself these questions to be condescending to yourself. You're answering these questions to sort of realize, where's the void? Where's the void? The only way I can find it is if I'm honest about it. Where's the void? And now we can go from there. You may be standing in front of a big old Grand Canyon gap void right now. It may look like that to you. But you decide. You're the one. You're the ultimate judge. Not the critic. Remember, when you get critical, you get crazy. But this is making an actual judgment, a decision. Weighing the pros and cons, making your lists because you know you love it. Weighing those pros and cons and being like, I'm making a decision based on what makes sense and my version of happy, what I really want out of life. And if it doesn't serve that ultimate out, because you guys plan for the long run. You don't plan for instantaneous gratification. Right? So if your long term isn't scheduled and set, your world doesn't feel good. And that's just the truth. And it may be ugly because it's not glamorous and it's not exciting and it doesn't get you in with the popular kids, but who cares? Ultimately, there's only one person that's got to live your life, and that's you. And you got to make the decisions that are best for you. Dare to be happy. in your current situation, in this present situation. Dare to open your arms to the happiness that's all around you. And that means letting go and trusting that your family and friends have got your back. They're supporting you. They've got you. Whatever relationship you're in, hold on, I'm sorry. Whatever relationship you're in, it's pretty good. You've been nitpicking a lot. You are not afraid. Give it to God. Give what to God? Your truth. You've got to take a hold of something to let it go. If it keeps bouncing around like a pinball machine inside of you, if you never grab onto it, then you can never throw it out. This is the time when you grab onto it. What are your most precious, special gifts? Your ability to cultivate, your ability to provide food for the long term, to nourish and create a stable space. Say no to the temptation outside of that. Say no to any temptation. That's what it is. It's putting these temptations to rest. Being self-sufficient, being reliant, or this is a reliable man. A man who holds you down. And any desires that get in the way of that, you're killing. But you got to identify it first. You got to identify it first. Virgo. But ultimately, you have to also identify, that darker part of you, that need to control things that's so great and so mighty that you don't want to let go of those fantasies. You can see clearly now. This is in your future. Maybe I should have read this second. 1313, this is divine counterpart. It's like almost like, it's like bam, the light has gone on. Suddenly you realize what's most important. Now you get the message. Remember the owl in Harry Potter with the message, the messengers of love. A message of love comes in. Or now you finally realize what love really is. Gemini is where the North Node is. Having an open mind, a broad mind. This is Aquarius energy and Gemini energy. They're both very intellectual. This is broad-minded, being broad-minded. Use your mind wisely. Opening up your mind. This is it. This is the key to your success. But ultimately, lots of times you can be so stuck in the schedule that you created, you don't want to open up your mind to any new ideas, or you don't want to open up your mind to anything that would get in the way of those plans. It's almost like that becomes enemy number one. Anything that would throw a chink in the chain. But what I'm telling you is the chink is being thrown in the chain because you didn't look at it. You have to look at it and clear away the chain so that nothing gets in the way of it. Like, look at this situation differently. This is being very strategic, but that's not even strategy. It's just like being open-minded. Interesting. Make your dreams real. This is very manipulative energy. This is scorpionic energy. This is a tangled web that we weave. This is getting stuck in somebody else's idea of what a partnership web. Maybe stuck in a partnership that you feel is kind of killing you. This is Libra energy. This is Scorpio energy. A partnership maybe that you're hiding, a hidden romance, or a hidden desire for romance, for more romance. Time to collaborate, but it's upside down. In a lot of ways, it means just a relationship that isn't working out. Is your relationship not working out? Is that the truth? Because if that's the truth, that's what you have to be okay with right now. You don't have to make any quick moves. In fact, right now, you shouldn't be making any quick moves. You shouldn't be making any decisions. What you should be doing is reviewing the facts and reviewing them objectively. That's what you need to go through right now. You don't have to make any decisions, but you have to be honest with, it's like you have very powerful minds. And I have literally witnessed Virgo completely rationalize the irrational just so they didn't have to face the irrational. Because they knew because they're very intuitive too. You guys are very intuitive. On some level, they knew that the irrational was real and it was really going to happen, but they so didn't want to face that reality. They literally used their very clever mind to rationalize away the irrational, even though they knew what was happening. I've seen it happen constantly. Don't do that. This is save your energy. Because you got bigger problems. And the more you deny them, the bigger they get. So there's a sense of really just getting honest with yourself and being like, maybe this situation isn't working out. Maybe that's just the truth. Maybe that's really where I am. And it scares me and I don't really know where to go from here. But you have to step on that first step to get to the second, right? To do anything about it, maybe even to fix it, to heal it, you've got to step on that first step. This is learn from the past. Wisdom and growth and expansion. This is also maternal energy, matriarchal energy. Maybe you saw your mother go through this, right? This is generational. These relationships that don't work out, that you keep alive, like Norman Bates and his mother in the rocking chair, just keeping the dead thing alive, keeping him rocking, rocking, rocking. Doesn't make it alive. Right? Maybe somebody in your past, grandmother or mother, they did the same things. They made the same choices. And all of a sudden it dawns on you, oh my God, I'm making the same mistake that they did. And I don't want to. This is Cancerian energy, but it's disloyalty. And moving fast, quickly. Not taking your time. Not taking your time to be considerate to others, just rushing into a circumstance or a situation. Be loyal to what you love. You are honestly, deep down inside, you are contemplating something outside of the one that you love. There's some part of you that's tired of being loyal to the person that you're in a relationship with. And this is both Cancerian energy. So if you're involved with a Cancerian, I'm pretty sure there was some infidelity going on here. Or there's a sense of somehow you know they're about to bounce. They don't want to do this anymore. Now is a lucky time. So this is abundance, prosperity, as well as fertility. It could be conceiving, and there is always enough. What did you think? Having kids would make this better? Like your kids would fix everything? I mean, be loyal to what you love. This is disloyalty. Slow and steady wins the race, but it's also in reverse. It's just jumping in. This is basically, it's like lack of emotional stability. Give me a second. Oh, and this also came out. Let spirit be your guide, hawk spirit. What does that mean? That means you're receiving messages. You've been receiving messages for a while now that tell you the truth and communicate things to you that you know. There's just this sense of like, you can sense it. You can sense this change. You can feel this change. You can feel it being imminent. You know that ultimately it's not in your control. And that makes you really uncomfortable. There could be another baby coming into this situation. It's definitely not going to make matters better. It's going to just complicate things. If not, it's kind of like losing yourself in fantasy. That's how you know. If you've been escaping into fantasy all the time lately, that's how you know, Virgo. That's how you know. That's your message from the gods. That your reality isn't what you want it to be. And what you've got to stop and put a halt to is this whole losing yourself into fantasy. Because all it is patchwork. It's a Band-Aid on a big old gushing wound that's going to get worse until you look at it and actually address it. Maybe you feel like they don't love you anymore. Like they want out. You can almost feel their dissatisfaction. Okay? Talk to them. Because there must be a reason why they're still here, right? This could be very passive-aggressive energy normally, but I don't think this person is going to be passive-aggressive. I think they're going to finally get up the nerve to tell you stuff that might be hard for you to hear. Sacred source. These are angel messages. These are your spirit guide and angel messages. Sacred source, we, your angels, are here to remind you of your magnificence. You are literally an angel in the making, a being of eternal love and light, forever one with God, Goddess, and all creation. You're the first people to tell everybody how perfect you are. You know, how you're always right all the time. But you're the first one to like doubt yourselves and down yourself. This is about really you being honest with yourself right now to honor yourself. To honor the divine in who you are. which means honoring your truth, even if it hurts. Protection. You are safe. This is more protection. You are safe. Do not fear. We are always with you and surround you always with our invisible wings of light. You are safe. So there's a safety net here. You know that your world isn't going to be over. Gratitude. Make gratitude your new attitude. The stars will shine brighter upon you. All in your world will become lighter. Just by changing your focus. That's how powerful your mind is. Vision. A positive outcome requires a positive vision. Visualize everyone involved in your present situation surrounded by light and love. Make sure to include yourself also. Your love has the power to influence and transform the current events. I know what you want. You want the fantasy. This is saying that the reality has potential to be even better than the fantasy. But first you have to stop retreating into actual fantasy and look at reality and figure, okay, what do I need to shave off? And what do I need to add to make it look the way that I actually want it to be? To make it what I, not just look like, to make it be actually what I want it to be. Middle path. Embrace both sides. The middle path is the road to a balanced and more peaceful life. There is a happy medium here. Determination. Determination, perseverance, and patience will lead to a positive outcome. Don't quit. Because there is... That's the trick, man. That's fucking Pluto. Trying to make you quit, trying to trip you up by playing on the worst, most doubtful sides of yourself. Tricky motherfucker. But ultimately, secretly, well, he's the destroyer. So maybe secretly he doesn't want you to win. But ultimately, that's the game, man. That's the game. Don't allow the wrecking ball to come in and destroy everything about what you've created. But definitely be honest about the weak points, because that's the only way you're going to be able to protect what you've created, by reconstructing the weak points. Let's see what Tarot has to say. Get some nitty-gritties and details. Link is below. I'll see you guys over there.